Hi, and welcome to Serenity Now, a place for entrepreneurs to ask questions, learn, get connected, and be inspired. Join us as we talk about all things business and the search for the ever-elusive Serenity Now in both business and personal life.
The episode of Serenity Now for Entrepreneurs, where I'm bringing back Katie and Claire from Friendly Composting. And Katie and Claire have honored us with their presence again to give us an update on where they were. As you might recall, they run a composting business in Kamloops BC. They started it during COVID. They started it while at school. And they're here now to tell us how great things are going. So I'm going to turn it over to Katie to give us a reminder of where you were when we talked to you last and a bit of an update where you are now.
Okay, thank you, Peggy. So when we spoke in January, Claire and I were figuring out some loan applications and figuring out whether we want to scale up our commercial collections, getting into sort of the big waste management truck sort of realm. We were deciding what to do in terms of our employees. We had 400 compost subscriptions at the time and about 5 local businesses. And so we were just trying to scale and grow and figure out whether we should be leasing, whether we should be financing vehicles. We were trying to kind of redefine what our employees were, whether they were subcontractors or hourly employees. So I think that was most of the takeaways kind of from that conversation and where we were at. Does that kind of sum it up? I think I could turn it over to Claire to talk about the takeaways from that conversation about that.
That's great, Claire. Why don't you let us know where you are now? I know you guys had those numbers that Katie had just mentioned, but from an earlier conversation, I know you've grown quite a lot since then. So tell me about the new numbers. Tell me about what happened with your waste management truck and all of the rest of the good things that came out of this.
Yeah, so right now we have about 625 residential composters and about 15 businesses composting with us. So wow. Definitely seen ongoing growth, which is awesome. And then from our previous chat about kind of all the questions, I guess, we brought to you guys that you so kindly gave advice on, one of our main debacles at the time was getting a waste management truck, which was out of our comfort zone, and we were trying to wrap our heads around it logistically and financially. At the end of the day, we decided to scrap that idea. We determined that it wasn't our strength. It's not what we were good at. And so we decided to leverage our relationships instead and focus on what we were good at in terms of sales and developing a community and educating our community on what we were doing. And then we ended up contracting out some of our processing to alleviate that side of the business for us, to allow us to focus on everything that we kind of identified as our strengths. So that's kind of an update on where we are now. And then for key takeaways, from our chat, we actually took a lot away from it.
Sounds like it. Yeah.
Yeah, it was really awesome. But I think the main takeaway, that umbrella term, was just structure. A lot of what we talked about was structure in regards to bookkeeping and accounting, and then just also structure in terms of our business plan and our numbers and our financials, and making sure we had a really good grasp on those and how to try to organize ourselves to set ourselves up for success. And then, like Katie mentioned, talking about employees versus contractors and trying to navigate all of those decisions.
Wow.
We're definitely ongoing conversations that we still have now.
You guys have done awesome.
I think that's one of the biggest on the employee front of it was making that decision to bring people in and getting them super bought in our business and helping us grow. We finally just kind of were you know what, we just need more hands and we need to step out of the operations ourselves so we can plan. And making that decision to go from casual just drivers picking up compost to actual team members has made a world of difference in the last few months for sure.
Wow, that's a huge decision too. That's no longer just, we're kind of toying around with this little business that we started during school. That's giving it. That's going for the real thing, right? So that's cool. So what I heard was awesome, because I think, Rita and the other ladies would really be proud to know that you took their advice on structure and took their advice on, keeping the books in order and understanding your numbers so you can make decisions on financing and realizing that your strengths are not in running a big waste management truck, but, other things. Playing to your strength, that's just huge, and not getting involved in somewhere where it might not be advantageous for you to be. So well done, ladies. So tell me now, like, where are you going next? I mean, you guys have expanded so much in such a small period of time. I'm dying to hear where this is going. Did you ever follow up with your discussions with the city of Kamloops? Like, tell me about that.
Yeah, so I think last time we spoke, we said that it was kind of a real possibility coming down the pipeline that the city was going to be rolling out a curbside organics program. And so we just kept in the loop. We reached out to them multiple times and set up Zoom chats and kind of had conversations with the key decision makers from the city. But it did come faster. We were expecting a rollout in kind of the end of the summer 2023. So at the time we were kind of going, we've got 2.5 years to make some major decisions about where we want to pivot in our business. And then they have since gone ahead. So they did get approved for a pilot project. So that's happening this September. So September 2020, they're rolling out a pilot project with 2,000 homes.
So Katie,
yeah.
So this 2,000 homes, this isn't something you're working with them. They are actually going to do a parallel program to what you guys are doing in your business. Is that my understanding? So
that's correct.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Wow.
Yeah. So
competition.
Yeah. Yeah. So huge reality to face for us for sure. And we have such a huge presence in our community on the composting front, where we attend the farmers market every week. People come up to us every time and go, this is happening, right? And we're like, oh yeah.
Wow.
This has been on our radar since the very beginning. And so we knew that, and we thought, we divert over 3,000 kilograms a week of food waste right now. And so we're not just gonna stop right now. The impact we're making is huge. And so in the next 1.5 to 2 years, by the time the curbside program rolls out, we can make a huge difference in that regard. But we just really want to be super smart about the direction we're taking it right now. Our systems and structures are kind of really working like autonomously without Claire and I in the daily operations. So what we have been able to do is have these bigger picture conversations and be like thinking months out, and just kind of like trying to get systems in place so that when that does happen, we can quickly pivot and just figure out what comes next for the brand.
Awesome. Oh wow, you guys have come a long way. I was asking earlier if you're still using those pitchforks. Anyhow, so let's talk now about some of the other good things that happened. I know you guys have got some funding. I know there's been an award. I want to hear about it.
Yeah, we've had some good luck lately. Grant writing.
Okay, hang on a minute. We just did a whole podcast on success, and what we all said in that podcast is this is not luck, ladies. You have worked hard.
But grant writing feels like luck half the time.
There were tears, Peggy, when we got that email saying like approved, and we're like, money? Like, no way that we didn't like sweat over.
Oh, that's cool. Crazy. So let's not talk about luck, girls. You have done a great job. So again, you got some funding. Tell me about it.
Yeah, so we received some funding from the BC government to help get our online systems functional and working very smoothly. So an online digital grant to help revamp our website and make sure that everything's tickety-boo there, which has been a huge help because I think, and I don't think we talked about this on the podcast, but developing a website, and especially for a logistic heavy business like ours, was a steep learning curve. And I think we underestimated what task that is. Mm-hmm. So that I'm super excited about that funding. And then we also received funding from the federal government for summer jobs through their summer jobs program, which helped us be able to hire people for the summer, which, going back to what Katie said just about having time to work on the business and not in the business, that was huge. and so exciting.
You know, guys, you've learned that in your first year. Do you know what? I can't even tell you how many years it takes people to learn that, to be able to work on the business and not be so entrenched in the business that you have no time to think big picture. And I applaud you guys for that, because, you know, obviously you've had a pretty quick success, and you've had to grow. You've had to grow very quickly, and you've had to figure this out along the way. But honestly, that's like applause to you, because a lot of people don't figure that out. And I'm not the only one that's recognized your success. Tell me about your award. I know you guys applied and received an award.
Yeah. So we got, I guess over the course of the winter, we engaged in a couple different like pitch competitions for student entrepreneurship. And so we were finalists in the GSEA, Global Student Entrepreneur Awards. And we were a finalist there. So in that regard, we got so much more mentorship and networking and support from the entrepreneur organization. And then we were also finalists in the Enactus national competition, and ended up placing third. So we got, again, more mentoring and networking, which has been such a huge help. Similar to the podcast, where just talking to entrepreneurs is one of the easiest ways to learn and best ways to learn. So that was huge. And then also a bit of prize money, which is much appreciated.
Oh my goodness, you guys. Well done.
And of course, Claire's being 100% modest right now. She's been juggling doing her master's and then helping out with the business on the side as well. And then there were over 200 nominations across Canada for the Enactus competition, and we made it to the top 12. And then Claire represented us we made it through the regional round, and she represented us on the national stage. And then we earned a third place finish. So, and like Peggy, it was pretty hilarious. Like, we were in the ring with like medical device bracelets and smeltering, recycling innovative things that had millions of dollars in pre-sale. And then Friendly Composting was up there, and we got so much like amazing feedback from people like across Canada, just being like, this is a really cool full circle business you guys have started, and you should be really proud. So we were like, it was a really cool experience, and we're very lucky that Claire like is doing her master's and can like get us that sort of exposure. So it was really neat.
Really cool, you guys. I'm very proud. I am, family member and podcast Serenity sisters. So I am just like thinking that, if we can have just one little tiny bit of influence in how you guys move forward, we've done our job. Sounds like you're getting it from a lot of places, and mentorship is just so huge. Wherever you can get it, take it. Advice is an interesting thing in business. We all seek it, but you don't have to take everything. You guys have good heads on your shoulders. Take what you need, throw out the rest. It's a wonderful process to be able to hear others' experience and to be able to grow from that experience. But I'm again in awe of you two. You've done such a great job in such a short period of time. I can't believe it. So I'm just going to ask you now if you have any closing words for Serenity Now, for entrepreneurs and the great ladies that you had that wonderful time to chat with.
Yeah, I think for us, we just have really wrapped our head around not being afraid of pivoting and restructuring and redefining what we set out to do. So we obviously started this like really quick and fast during a pandemic. We knew there was a need to fill with composting and getting buckets in people's homes and just taking their compost away. And it's kind of turned into this community that we've built. And that's what I can probably speak to both of us, but that is what gets us up every morning. Like, it's so inspiring to just like be connecting with all of these people. And right now it's kind of turned into like, our current target market and these homes and all these people, they are ultimately going to be taken away from us with the city coming in, but they're not, those connections and those like relationships won't. And so like, we're just kind of going what does come next, with the Friendly brand. Maybe we drop the composting and it's just, sustainable initiatives in general and increasing our reach, and maybe, bringing some zero waste products and still offering delivery service of different things. So we're just trying to go like, what have we created here? Like, what does this mean? And like not being afraid to let the other piece go and just be at peace with like how much we've learned.
Wow.
So it is exciting, but it's just like, it's a huge undertaking to kind of like redefine all that and rewrite it. And, but it's so exciting.
Thanks, Katie. Ladies, thanks for coming on today. I really do appreciate this update. And I know the people that have listened to your podcast have asked us, what happened to Katie and Claire? Where are they? I am so happy to tell them you're in a much better place. And I would like to go back to the other members of the Serenity Now for Entrepreneurs group and give them your feedback to the experience there. Claire, can you give me a little something to take back?
Yeah, just a huge, huge, huge thank you. I think that having so many people in one place with knowledge and expertise in different areas was just such a huge help. I think mentoring in general is just one of the best ways to learn in business. And that typically happens through one-on-one interactions, but to have a whole panel of women who have so much experience and have that different expertise to provide insight is just like a wealth of knowledge in one place. It's like so concentrated. It was amazing. So a huge help. And I hope you'll have us back again, because we're going to be pivoting and it would be awesome to lean on your guys' experience and knowledge for that.
Oh, you bet. You're always welcome on our podcast. Thanks again, ladies.
Thank you.
We hope you enjoyed this episode and picked up some good tips and best practices that would benefit your entrepreneurial journey. Remember, none of the content in this podcast should be relied upon as standard legal or business advice. Always consult a professional for your specific business. You may know someone who could benefit from this podcast. Please share it with your business community, and perhaps it can give an entrepreneur you know some serenity now.